Welcome back to the program. Geek Hard's guest of the year, Humberly González.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Again, we always have fun when we talk with you. And last year, we had such a good time talking with you. We had talks about a strange dream you had about going to Bucharest. We talked about your cameo at the time. We talked about some of your work on Ginny and Georgia. And we finished off the interview. You said, there are big things happening that I can't talk about just right
Yeah.
yet. And little did I know that within the span of 1 year, not only would you be with Star Wars, but you'd also be with Star Trek.
Yeah.
So now you just got to get Marvel and you've read the trifecta of big name properties.
Let's go. I am so ready.
So has Star Trek Section 31 begun filming?
Yes.
And what's the vibe? How is it like with your new castmates for this particular production?
Honestly, dream cast. And maybe I say that every single time because I've worked with so many lovely humans, but I gotta say there's something about this cast that instantly clicked. Everyone is insanely talented. I feel like I'm right at home. This is the type of people I want to be around, the energy, the hard work. It's an honor, honestly, to be a part of this beautiful franchise. And it's unreal. It's unreal to be a part of two of the most known worlds. I mean, these two franchises, I think everybody knows them. Even me growing up in Venezuela, I grew up with it. So it definitely just I'm still kind of pinching myself, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, just do the work and you're here, but holy crap, what?
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, like we started talking to you back when you were on Utopia Falls, and
Yeah.
and it's like we've been talking to you now for a number of years, and with people that are like yourself who are young and new into the industry, and they're slowly growing their careers. And I always say, like, what kind of projects would you be working on and stuff like that, and what would you like to do? And you're living the dream now. Like, you're literally living the dream. Like, as you said, you've got Star Wars and Star Trek. You've got all the stars, right? Like,
I
you've
got
got
the stars. I belong amongst the stars. What can I say?
you know
They got to bring back Battle of the Network
there
Stars
we
so you
go.
can
That's
appear
it.
Oh
on
my
there. Yeah.
God.
But so obviously you're working on two giant franchises, and I also know that obviously you are very limited. We can see the snipers off to the edge of the screen right now as we look at you here. Um, what like so let's starting with Star Trek Section 31. Is there anything that you can talk about other than the fact that you're in the
Yeah,
project?
that's it.
That's it.
That's
Okay.
why you're listening. I'm sure that, we're still like quite literally at the start of filming, so
Right.
everything is very under wraps, but we're having a lot of fun.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Well,
that's awesome.
there
I
you go. So it's might be best just to focus on the wars at the moment because there is things we can talk about with that.
Yeah.
Because of course, you were at Comic-Con this past year for the game,
I
talking
was
about the game, right?
supposed to, I
Oh, you're
was
supposed to be
invited to
there.
San Diego Comic-Con. Unfortunately, the timing was awful because we were on an actor's strike. And
Right.
it happened quite literally like at midnight, 2 days before I was supposed to fly out. And, my team and I discussed it. And obviously, with everything that happened with SAG and the Directors Guild and the writers, everybody, I think it was best to not have to promote work at that time and stand
Right.
there with solidarity because we all want to be compensated fairly and to be treated equally. And it was a very important part of the industry and everything that happened last year, as
Of
difficult as
course.
it was not being there. Fingers crossed, I'm sure that there will be more and that I will
Yeah.
be able to do conventions because I've never been. Yeah.
Well, I'm
Well,
pretty sure. You know what? I have a feeling that Star Wars Outlaws. A lot of people are talking about it. Can't wait till it comes out this year.
Yeah.
Tons of people are chomping on the bit. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a big convention like a San Diego Comic Con that even after the game comes out is going to want to do a panel on this thing.
Yeah.
Because of course, you got to do mocap and everything for this,
Yeah.
and it's such an interesting character, Kay Vess. It's nice to see that there it feels very much like a female version of a Han Solo. You got this rogue type character,
Yeah.
but you also have like the companion Nix. And what was it like working with the puppeteer playing Nix for the shooting?
It's amazing. I mean, some clips have been revealed when you get to see kind of the meet Kay Vess, and we showed a bit of that there is an actual puppeteer for Nyx, and I'm so glad that that was able to happen because more often than not, especially when you're doing motion capture, we don't really have a set. It's all made out of like wood and foams and markers. There's a lot of creation in your mind and a lot of characters that are not real people. They're just tennis balls with a marker or something like that. You know, you're just kind of really creating it in your mind. But for this one, because Nyx is literally family, like Nyx is a reflection of Kay in so many ways. It was alive, you know, he had to be alive. And I'm so glad that someone was able to bring that life to him and we could actually interact because we have so many scenes together and so many moments together that, I mean, maybe I'm a good of an actor to be able to act with a tennis ball for an entire year, but I'm just really grateful that you know, we had a professional there who could actually bring him to life, and it was really, really amazing. What a cool experience.
Yeah, I got to imagine, like, because talking to other actors over the years and hearing people talk about their work in video games has changed, right? Like much,
Mhm.
like it used to be more like animation. You'd go into a booth, you would record your lines, and that would be it. But
Yeah.
a lot of video games now, especially the AAA games, like Star Wars Outlaws is going to be, doing mocap. You're going to be there physically, and you get to do that. So you're stretching some of those more of those acting muscles that you would normally stretch
Oh yeah.
as you would like if you were on a set. That I gotta imagine that was probably, at least a little bit more comfortable for you instead of just being in a booth. Like I'm sure that you would have done excellent at that as well. But like you said, being there and having somebody to bounce off of was really helpful.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been working with Ubisoft for a while now. I guess this is like my third or fourth game with them. So I've had the practice of being in the suit, wearing the helmet, all of the lights, like the technicality of being a motion capture performer. It's it's something that it comes naturally to me. It's not easy when we have, you know, new actors that have never been in that suit. It can be actually quite overwhelming, and it kind of separates you or distracts you because you do have to kind of bypass and ignore a lot of the things that are going on. And you know, there's like camera people all around you, but they're ghosts because they're not wearing the suits. So it's such a different like movement in how motion capture versus film or TV works. But I do love it because you do get to create so much of it. And I think me coming from theater and having exercised that muscle a lot, it just kind of clicked for me. It was like second nature.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the stance that you've created for Kay, like it's a
Yeah,
badass stance. Was that like
yeah, she's got
did that just
swagger.
come naturally? Was it like as soon as you got out there, you're like, yeah, no, this is how Kay would stand.
Totally. I mean, you know, she's super confident, and there's something about her that's a little bit arrogant, you know. She says yes before she even knows what the dangers are. So she has to show that in her body. It's like she tries to convince herself she can do everything. And so, you know, that's like it's like a power move. It's like nobody can mess with me. So she's always very much like chest up, proud, swagger, you know, like that was definitely something I think I brought from day one, and they must have loved it, picked it up, and been like, "Yep, that's her."
So what was it like when you saw the game footage? Because like they premiered some of that last year for the first time. Like,
Mhm.
and I remember I started drooling, and because it's just like, wow, this looks like this game looks amazing. And and of course, like me and Andrew talked to, we were super happy for you because like we've talked to you, and it's nice to see cool people like you get cool
Aw,
things, right?
yeah.
But like that must have been like a little surreal. Like yeah, you've done some other stuff like Far Cry, and that's fine. But like
But it
you're
was
it.
me.
You're
Like,
you're
when the
you,
trailer starts, it's my voice, and
right?
Yeah.
it's really, like, such an unreal moment that, yes, I did the work. We shot the trailer, which was a separate thing from doing the mocap. Like, we actually shot the trailer here in Toronto in the Ubisoft studio here, and even watching it, it was just, oh my gosh. I think I cried, I laughed, I was like in shock. Like I couldn't believe it was even me. And it was really awesome to also watch like the gameplay and the trailer with the cast. There was a day where we all kind of got sat down and they showed us like each version of it. Like we saw when it was like bare bones, when it was almost done, and then when it was finally done. And um it was incredible, honestly. And the support that I've gotten from the team and my castmates, that they're just so lovely. And I was literally at the front glued to the screen, just like, I think I was like this the whole time, and I'm like crying. I'm like saying the lines with her, like reacting to it. It's definitely a dream come true. I never thought that I would be in this place in my career with the work that I'm doing, but I also know that it's not surprising in a way, because I have taken the steps forward to be able to represent, these franchises and in leading roles. It isn't just like a side character. It's like, we're looking at you.
Yeah, yeah. And
Right.
speaking of looking at you with that, is it a plus or a minus that because it's mocap, you didn't have to get Kay's feathered hairdo?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess so. I'm like, I don't know how it would look with bangs, but I do have shorter hair now. Like, so it kind of like works, but no, I don't know if I would get her hairdo. I'm good with a wig.
There you go.
So
There you
yeah,
go. That's
there's
good.
pros and cons. But listen, if they're willing to do a live action of
I
this,
was going to
There you
say,
go.
whatever
There
you
you
are with
go.
my hair, that's different.
That's different. That's different. They bring in some great wig
yeah,
makers. It'll be great. It'll
Yes,
be
a
fantastic.
hundred
I
percent.
I'm just
But you
already.
also did the most recent Avatar game, and I heard
Yeah, and
that
that was
you
all voiceover
actually
as
that was all
well.
voiceover. I heard you
Yeah.
like spoke perfect Navi.
Oh my gosh, that was such a cool experience, because not a lot of people get to learn the language and actually speak it. People will do certain words or maybe the accent. I got to do both. I got to speak English with a Navi accent, and I got to speak full Navi. And yeah, that wasn't easy, but Paul, who literally like he created the language, he coached me. We went through the whole script. I got to sing in it, and he literally told me, he's like, "You have a great Navi accent." I'm like, "What an honor." I'm like, "I will take that." It was really, really cool, because that's also another, world that's been around for so long, and to get to be a little piece of it and learn the language and where it comes from, and it's got so much heart and soul. And yeah, the game is awesome.
Yeah, everything is coming up Humberly. Like you're touching all the big franchises, right? Like
Just like doing all of it, like, yeah, just a little bit of everything. I've always kind of done that, just very versatile. And we have to be multifaceted as artists. I'm like, I definitely had this fear when I first entered the industry, that I was going to be kind of boxed in into a specific role or a specific type of character because of who I am, where I grew up, and the languages that I speak. But I gotta say, it's been a pleasant surprise that I've gotten to do so many different things, and I still have yet to play all of the things that I know I'm capable of. So, the world's my oyster. I'm like, what else is next? Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You've covered a lot of ground, including this past Christmas, the first double female led LGBTQ Hallmark Christmas movie,
Mm,
Friends and Family Christmas,
yeah.
which it got nominated for a GLAAD Media Award, right?
No.
This is
Wild.
this is crazy. So again, with this experience, like, are you happy that you got to be like in Hallmark's first double female led Hallmark
Yeah.
film?
And to be honest, I had never really auditioned for Hallmark before. Their demographic was different. The people that they had inside of those roles were different. So that when they reached out to me for this role, because it was a straight offer, they just really came to me and said, "We would want you to lead us in this." It was such a moment of like, oh yeah, I guess they were watching too. I've played quite a few like impactful queer roles in my career. And again, an immense honor to be also like kind of breaking the mold, and hopefully the first of many to be able to play this role. And then it gets nominated for an outstanding film. I mean, the team was amazing, and my co-star Ali Lieber, like, yeah, it was such a fun time, and bizarre that we filmed it during a strike, because we were Canadian and it was in Vancouver, so there were like loopholes in all of this, of course.
It was like
But
14 days, right, in September?
yeah. Yeah, we filmed these in no time. It was just like 3 weeks in and out, and 3 months later it's out, premiered. There's like so much beautiful feedback, and we get nominated. And everything's just like happening so fast. And I was like, wow, I'm really glad it lined up. And I think it was the right timing.
All of my social media threads were like bombarded with people talking about this movie. So I can
Yeah.
only imagine what your social feed was like.
Totally. I mean, it was just wonderful because the queer community really came through and they felt seen, represented, loved. And that's all we wanted to do with it. Like Hallmark is about feel good, and that's what we wanted to do as well. It's like queer love deserves feel good too.
Totally.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you, like as you mentioned, right? Like representation does matter, obviously, and it's fantastic. You know, like you're as I said, I am super happy for you because everything that you're doing
Mr.
is
Green, are you happy for her? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I
I
don't know if
think
you mentioned
Wait,
that
are
in
you
the
happy though?
interview,
yeah.
in the interview thus far.
No,
If you've mentioned that.
I'll take
Humberly, I don't know if I've
it.
said it yet, but I am super happy for you, right? No, but again, like I said, you've been so awesome to share your time with us over the years, you know, and you're a great person. And it's awesome to see all of this happening for you, you know, like some actors work into their 50s before they start getting like some of these bigger roles and some of this acclaim, and you're starting to rack it up at, you know, at a relatively young age, and you're like hitting it out of the park. Like, so how do you, with that in mind, how do you kind of keep yourself grounded, you know, like with these successes?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that I've definitely had to learn to navigate social media, navigate being considered a celebrity, what that means, like the responsibility that comes with being in the public eye. I think at the start, especially like around 2020 when Ginny and Georgia came out, it was extremely exciting and sometimes overwhelming because as I'm learning as a person and artist, maybe I thought I had to be perfect, have it all together, and I was afraid that even when I fell short or I didn't have the right answer or something, that fans were going to come at me and be like, no, like I'm human too, and I'm learning. This is also very new for me. I, I don't even have my family here. So that's also a struggle that I'm grounded because I know what it took for me to get here, that, the majority of my family is elsewhere. I'm an immigrant. I'm someone that, worked extremely hard and came from barely anything to have so much of the dreams that I know a lot of people would want. I know a lot of my family back home, they're so talented and they have so much to give, but they didn't get the opportunity that I had. So there's this fire inside of me because it's beyond me. It's for anybody who has this gift, but you have to have the opportunity. You have to have the chance. And I got to because I emigrated and I was able to start kind of a new life and learn this new world. So I don't think I'll ever lose that at the center of everything that I do, even though I'm in the public eye. I think you can ask any fan that I ever meet that stops me on the street or wants to talk to me that it's a very human interaction. And I want to remind people that at the center of all of it, it might look so luxurious from the outside and it's exciting and it's like dreams coming true, which is incredible. But I never want to lose my humanness and the fact that they too can achieve that. It's a mindset, it's effort, it's, preparation meets opportunity. And there was a recipe in my life that somehow it all came together and I took it and I said yes fearlessly. I have an incredible team that supports me and they're like family. My friends who are family. I know that's like the movie, but truly my community, my friends, the people I surround myself with keep me really grounded because they are like you extremely happy for me and I feel the genuineness of that. At the start of my career it was really tricky to know like who to trust, who to lean on, and I lost people along the way and I gained so much back. And I think, now that I know myself a little better and I've been in this for a few years, I recognize the importance of mental health, making sure I have rest, making sure I take time away from what the media is and kind of regroup in my body and myself, have the heart to hearts with the people that, and then keep dreaming bigger and just give it right back, like generously. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, very much. Those are all good things. The power of positivity, having good people around you, remaining grounded. That's why we like you, Humberly. You know,
Yeah.
you're a good egg.
It's
You're a
not
good
too
egg.
shabby.
Yeah, definitely. What's last time we talked with you, of course, we talked about the horror film Horoscope. It's coming out this year. It's now Tarot.
Yeah, tarot.
Saw the trailer for it. I was scared for all of you. I was like, each person looked like they were gonna get fucked up hard.
Oh, it's so fun when you get to do that in a movie, though. Like, I love just being fucked up in movies. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's the funnest. You get to, to experience fear and be in it. And like, this movie is gonna be so good. We felt it when we read the script. The team, like our directors, Anna Halberg and Spencer Cohen, are geniuses, and they truly, the reason I'm in this, like, I know it's because they truly believed in me. I know they fought for me to be here, and being in such a stellar cast again, getting to, film in Serbia and have my first international project, getting to work with Screen Gems, which was a huge dream of mine. I love horror, and Sony Pictures, they do it best. Like, they're amazing. They really just like create these stories, and I've seen pretty much everything Screen Gems has done. So to say that I get to do like my first like big like studio picture movie, and we get to all go to the movie theater and get scared together, dream. Like,
And then when it comes on streaming, you can fall asleep to watching yourself get killed as well.
exactly. Oh, right? And I'm like, I know that's not real. I'm safe. Good night.
Yeah.
It just like the hits just keep rolling for you, like wait. So I slightly off topic here, but I'm just curious now because you talked about falling asleep to horror movies, and that's and
Yeah.
that's it's odd but still super cool.
I still think it's crazy you fall asleep to horror movies, but you're afraid of haunted houses. But that's
I
just
know.
me.
Yeah. But hey, everybody's got their
One is
things.
on the screen, one is like surrounding me.
Yeah,
and
right.
that's the best of me.
That's
Like,
it. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Humberly, yeah, for sure. But I'm curious about just this is a weird thing that I've been thinking about recently. So I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to pose this question to you. When you're watching TV, movies, whatever, right? Do you have a guilty pleasure that you just like, I gotta watch this over anything else?
Ooh.
No matter, even if you know it's garbage, you just love watching it.
I love watching Forgetting Sarah Marshall. There's something. I think I've seen that movie so many times. And shark movies. I'm really
yeah?
into shark
Oh, yeah?
movies.
I love
Like
shark
anything
movies.
that's like end of the world or shark movies, like 47 meters down, 47 meters down on Cage, like great. Shallows. Yeah, again, they're kind of relaxing. I don't know
So
what it
what you need is a Jason Segel comedy about a shark. That's what you
Yes. Honestly, like lately I've been talking about this. So I used to live in Aruba, and when I was there, my hobby of choice was scuba diving. And I did all my certifications. I've done all of them, like night diving, deep diving, all of them. And I was like, I would love to do a diving movie, like, or something underwater. So I'm putting that out into the ether. And if we do another audition and you're talking to me about this moment right now, the power of manifestation, I'm
There you go.
claiming it. It
Yeah,
would be
you
so
are-
cool to
you're a-
use that skill.
You are a master of manifestation. I've noticed that's just like there's a lot of times where you talk about stuff and then suddenly everybody's like, "Oh, she's doing that now." Wow, okay, it's crazy. And like again, you getting involved with franchises like Star Trek and Star Wars. How do you feel if like other stuff that you've worked on in smaller roles suddenly became franchise universes? Like, how would you feel if they came up to you and said, "Hey, we're expanding the franchise of Nobody, and we want to do something about the couple that has to rob houses in that scene"?
Amazing. Like, how cool. I mean, yeah, I think anything could happen, right? Anything that I've done could come back and be like, we want to expand this or we want to work on this. But yeah, I'd be like, heck yes. Is Bob gonna be there?
Yeah.
No?
Oh man, now you're somebody that even with all the stuff you got going on, you still make time to go out and do fun things. You every time I see like you're an active person, you're out there doing stuff with the Slack line or things like
Yeah.
that, or you're going to visit people at different events. This past week you were at the opening of Mandy's Salads,
Yeah.
and I want to ask you, because I know you're a big salad fan, what is the characteristics to make a perfect salad? What makes a perfect salad?
Texture. You start with that, right? It can't just be all just lettuce. I am a big fan of adding some like crispy noodles or tortilla chips, add some nuts, like anything that, sometimes like air fried chickpeas or something like that, like something that you give it crunch, and then you get your like kind of spicier ones like radish, shredded carrot. Like you can add so many things to a salad. You got to have something like brighter, right? So like a tomato or add fruit to it. And then, I mean, the vinaigrette, you kind of just, as long as you have like oil and balsamic or something like that, you can add anything to it. But oh, Mandy, so good. It's a Toronto brand, and they started out, two sisters in Montreal. It was their dream, and now this is like their third store opening, second one in Toronto, and they're so lovely. It was so nice. I'm like, I love going to a party, and the food is just a bunch of mini salads. I'm like, this is the dream. I had like 4 salads. So funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, whereabouts in Toronto is Mandy's open?
So there's one on Ossington, and this one is in the Well, which is like the new kind of indoor outdoor mall space. But it's more than a mall because they have not just stores, but there's restaurants, there's like wellness centers, you can walk around. They have pop-ups. They're still finishing it, but it's an incredible space, and it's right at like Front and Spadina area, like really
Okay.
beautiful, right downtown. I think, yeah, Toronto's kind of becoming like, it's like a new hang space. I feel like this summer it's gonna be bumping for sure.
That's awesome.
Nice.
We need more hang spaces and less condos in Toronto.
Yes.
That's what we
Exactly.
need.
Like, I know people want to live here and we're all just living on top of each other, but we need stuff to do. I'm like, we can't
Exactly.
just stay inside all the time.
No,
Well,
definitely.
and the worst part is half the time they're tearing down the things that we were trying to do to put in
Yeah.
more people
Oh,
that
man.
can't afford to live there in the first place.
No, nobody can afford, and somehow they keep moving here. I'm like, the math isn't mathing. I don't know how this is working
Right?
out, but
Like
yeah.
how can you
No. Yeah, it's
who can
hard.
who can
Like,
afford $2 million homes, like average?
no,
I don't,
renting forever. Like,
right?
Yeah, pretty
like I'd
much.
rather
Renting forever
save
as
that
well.
money and just go travel and see the world. I'm like, I'm a nomad anyway. You work from everywhere, and I'm like, I love my place. I've been here like almost 8 years, and I'm like, I don't need to buy a home. Maybe it'll happen someday. I'd rather have something like away from the city, somewhere, a piece of land by like a lake or something, and that's peaceful. But yeah, no, it seems impossible here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely much. Well, in that sense, some people would hear the amazing things you've done and think, how can anybody do that? That's impossible. But you've done it.
Sure.
And I don't know, Green may have said it or not, but we're really happy for you. And we
I'm
can't wait.
super happy for you. That's
We can't wait to see all of these projects coming out when the
Yeah.
Star Trek film comes out, when
Oh,
the Star Wars game, which I know a lot of people are really hungry and waiting for, when Tarot comes out in May. It's just, it's going to be great. And you've proven once again why you were Geek Hard's guest of the year.
aw, yay! It's an honor. Thanks for having me. It's always actually really fun to chat. You always have good questions, and you remember everything I say.
That's it's a gift. That's just the
Yeah.
way it. And you know what? That's that's a credit to you for saying interesting things that get
Oh,
stuck
there
in
we
my
go.
brain.
It's a
Yeah.
There we
two-way
go.
street.
That's
There
There
you
we go. There
Yeah.
we go. Oh my God. So you hopefully, you get out this weekend, enjoy the lovely weather we're having here in Toronto.
I know, I might take my dog for like a third walk now. I'm like, what else is there to do? I'm like,
Why
"Look,
not?
it's Friday."
There you
It's
go.
like
No, luckily I'm
13
not filming
degrees.
today. Next week is full on, but I'm like, I get
Uh,
some days off, which is nice.
Yeah, some rest and relaxation before you're
Yeah.
back to the grind of traveling the cosmos with Michelle Yeoh. So there you go.
She's so wonderful. I love her. Yeah.
All right.
That's-
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today, Humberly.
Thank you so much.